From the moment Noreen Mugasia said yes to her fiancé's, Jimna Thuku Mwaura's proposal, they both knew they would have a musical-themed wedding.
For me, what matters the most during the wedding is that people dance a lot and have fun. If anything else goes wrong, I'll be okay with that. But if people don't have fun, I'll be very traumatized. They'd rather even sit under the sun, but have fun. Music and dancing and just a lot of music.
Actually, the first thing that came to mind is, like you said, music. So to us, music is key because you're both musicians and most of our friends love music. And I dance a lot. I dance a lot. That to me is grand, as in it's a grand wedding to me.
It is no surprise that they both want a musical-themed wedding since they actually did meet at a musical audition.
So I went into the audition room and I find around 5 guys and he was one of them. So I went, I sang. I noticed him, not because I was attracted to him. I noticed him because when I started singing, he raised his hand. Then I'm there thinking, you're supposed to be auditioning, you're not supposed to show any emotions. But anyway, I sang, then I went outside to wait for the results.
She sang with a very angelic voice. And I was like, I was even drafting some notes. Then I heard the voice and raised my head. But it kept coming, as in the voice was so sweet, I raised my hands. I was like, wow, this is heavenly. Yeah, this is heavenly.
Then now when it came to reading the results, he's the one who read the results as well. Then I thought, really? Because he looked like a joker. I actually thought I'm in the wrong place. I actually started asking myself, why did I come to this place? Because he used to be very gangster, by the way. He used to wear baggy jeans, big t-shirts, sweatshirts. So that day he was wearing a very big sweatshirt and he had pulled one side up. In February 2010, that's when he asked me officially out. Yes.
3.5 years later, their love would blossom. And one fine evening over dinner, Jimna finally proposed to Noreen.
After we had eaten, he told me to close my eyes. So I closed my eyes. Then when he told me to open my eyes, he had placed a pack of cards. There was a pack of cards on the, they're called deck cards.
Deck of cards.
Yeah, deck of cards on the table. And they were made into a booklet. So on the top, it was written 52 reasons why I love you. So I was like, oh, this is so nice. So we started reading reason number 1. Ah, nice. Number 2, he had actually written all 52 different reasons. I don't know where he got. How long did it take? Right. By the time I'm reason number 25, I'm already teary-eyed. As I was just thinking, wow, okay, anyway, as much as this year has been so bad, I really got myself a nice guy. It was reason number 53. It was number 53. He had written, will you marry me, Noreen Musimbi? I threw the book at him. He came and knelt on one knee and asked me the question. And I nodded. And he said, that's not a yes. I need to hear it. So yeah, I said yes.
I'd wanted to do it earlier than November, probably in September there. But since the year had been very rough on us, I couldn't. I didn't have the cash to go get the ring. Those were probably the longest 15 seconds of my life. Yeah, but it was good. She agreed. I remember she kept looking at the ring. She looked at it for a very long time. Like I'd talk and I think all she could hear was...
In the months following that thoughtful and romantic proposal, the couple would spend hours and hours discussing how they wanted every detail of their wedding to be laid out, including what parts of the musical theme they wanted to incorporate.
Our colors are black and silver and a little blue because he loves blue. And I think it's selfish for brides to say it's their day. So we'll incorporate a little blue to make him happy. But it will also be centered around music. First, I don't really like flowers. So there'll be very minimal flowers at the wedding. There'll just be flowers to show there's a wedding there. But really, I don't think I'd want to have flowers everywhere. No. I'd rather have something else, something different. For example, we had this idea of using LPs, those old records, yes, instead of flowers. And then at the church, instead of putting flowers at the pews, we can use cloth, as in something different. We also don't want drapery on the tents. It will just be tents, as long as they're white. That's my biggest issue. They have to be white. Plus the white will go with our color scheme, black and silver, so yeah.
Catherine Muthoni, a dressmaker based at Githurai 44, and her fiancé, Peter Shege, a factory messenger at Eden Tea, subscribe to the Akorino faith. And our curiosity of their faith and Akorino weddings got the better of us.
Mimi sikusaliwa ati nikiwa Akorino. Mi kitambaa yangu nilifunga nikiwa standard 1. Kitu 1 2. Hata wazazi wangu wakifunga kitambaa nilikuwa mimi najijua. Because babangu akifunga kitambaa nilikuwa kwa nursery school. Naye mamangu akafunga nikiwa standard 1. Na mimi nikaamua tu kufunga. Nilikuja kujua nini baadaye.
Tukiwa watoto wadogo, mimi nilikuwa na ficha yangu, sikuwa nataka kuvaa. Na ungewauliza wangesema mimi ndiye nitakuwa wa kwanza kuitoa. Lakini nilifika mahali nikajua maana ya kilemba. Kwa hivyo singeweza kuitoa, na ndio maana niko nayo hapa. Imenisaidia mahali kwingi sana. In fact, when I was in secondary school, ningekuwa kuvuta bangi, ningeivuta laudio, lakini nilikuwa naona cause wenye tulikuwa tunatembea na wao walikuwa watu wakora. In fact, hata nilikuwa nafukuzwa shule juu ya wao tu. Lakini tukifanya makosa ama tuseme tunafika mahali sasa wanaenda kuvuta bangi, kuna maswali mimi najiuliza, kwa nini niende nikavute bangi na niko na kilemba kwa kichwa? Kwa hivyo nikakuwa kaa najua maana yake, maana ya kilemba. In those hata wakati wa Yesu kilemba ilikuwa. Do you know that? Ushawaisikia hivyo? Ama tu uliona tu, ulizaliwa tu ukaona tu Akorino? Okay. Maana ya kilemba inaonyesha huyo mtu ni mtakatifu. If you happen to see a Akorino mwenye anavuta bangi, anakunywa pombe, ujue huyo sio Akorino, hiyo ni mfano ya Akorino. So, hii kitu huwa inaonyeshana utakatifu.
And Akorino weddings are high energy affairs in themselves.
I don't see any difference with others. The difference with Akorino, it is better to tell you, the difference with Akorino, ikifika sasa ni mahali, sasa ni wimbo, hapo sasa we have the difference. On our case we have dancers, wenye utakuwa na waibaji.
Back to our love story. As fate would have it, their faith brought them together.
Huwa tunashiriki kanisa moja na yeye. So, tuseme mambo ilianzia tu hapo. Siku moja, nikapatana na huyu msichana tukiwa kwa kanisa, na nikaamua mimi mwenyewe nimchokoze.
But this would take almost a year for Catherine to agree to his advances. And again, as fate would have it, both being lovers of dancing, a dance proposal at a mutual friend's wedding would finally soften her heart towards him. And after a series of meetings and phone conversations, Peter would finally propose to her.
But one day, I decided to meet with her. Na nikamwambia akuje mahali ndio tuongee. Na wakati alikuja tuliongea na nikamuuliza kama anaweza kubali nimuoe. Naye ni kama alikuwa anangojea cause wakati huo hakukataa.
Still ahead, it's music and drums as two couples, lovers of music and dance, say, I do. But first, two brides in the race against time to tie everything together before their big day. One her gown, and the other her bridal party's dresses. When Samantha's bridal show continues.
It's a beautiful world I'm waiting to share.
Jimna and Noreen are planning a musical-themed wedding. To achieve this feat, they have enlisted family and friends to help them bring the theme to life, from invites to programs to thank you cards and other accessories, and of course the entertainment. This is not surprising, as most Kenyan weddings are actually organized by the wedding committees and family.
My dad is there. He told me everything will be catered. You don't worry. As in, we have your back till the end. And also have friends who are supporting me 100%.
All of the elaborate-looking details in this musical-themed wedding actually will cost the bride and the groom the least amount of money.
The wedding came to around 670. Yeah, round about there. We've already sourced for suppliers, as in their real figures. You've already, yes.
In fact, there is only one item on their budget that is not locked down.
Minus the background expenses that usually happen that don't go into that budget, like the gowns, I don't know, the suits, the ones that don't go into like the real budget that is to us. We have like 250. Mostly, we have a lot of mutual friends. And by friends, I mean guys who would actually sell their leg and 2 kidneys and livers for us. So we plan on getting a lot of funding from our friends. You see, the good thing about our budget is we can always cut down on stuff. As in, if we feel like it's May and we still don't have enough cash like to do a few things, we can cut it down. So depending on the cash that is there, we'll do it. But the wedding has to happen.
My parents, they're very staunch Christians. Very staunch, both of them, both my dad and my mom. So for them, it went without saying. It had to be a church wedding. It doesn't matter whether it will be under a tree, as long as it's a church, pastor officiating. I don't think they'd have agreed to us going to the AG and just having a bash later. They'd even rather just call a pastor wherever it is to join you guys. So for them, that's really, really important. And I think for his parents as well, yeah? Yes.
It's the same, as in, it has to be in church.
A must-have for this wedding, though, is the wedding itself. And of course, brilliant white tents.
If tents are supposed to be white, they're supposed to be white. Me for that's the deal breaker. I think I'll be there on Friday. If they're dirty, they'll be washed. That's the deal breaker.
And speaking of wedding committees, Peter and Catherine have also enlisted family and friends to help them raise finances for their wedding.
The total budget, I think, was 200,000.
They recently had their pre-wedding event where they managed to raise 100,000 Kenya shillings. Pre-weddings are a common feature in Kenyan weddings to help engage couples to raise funds for their weddings.
We have wageni, guest, wenye hawakuwa wameleta pesa zao by pre-wedding. Some of them washatuma hizo pesa. Zimeongezeka, about 150.
With Peter keeping a close eye on the budget, they had to forgo some items from their original budget, like the evening party, to accommodate what monies they had in hand.
Right now, tulitoa evening, of which Unaweza kuwa nayo cause ya Mungu huwa haijulikani. Naweza enda tupate pesa mahali kwingine, lakini sio kukopa. Kukopa hapana. There is another life after wedding, so kukopa very difficult, hatuwezi. Lakini tunaweza patana na wasamaria wema na watusaidie.
A wise decision indeed, we must concur. Working in their favor, though, they have managed to secure Stima Members Club as the venue for their wedding, where they will have both the ceremony and reception.
For one, ilituveva kwa mfuko. Secondly, it is a nice place, cool and not so secure. That is why we decided to choose that place.
And for just 30,000 shillings, the venue will provide tables, chairs, and decor for their wedding. They have also managed to secure an independent caterer to feed their 400 guests. Earlier on, Noreen had visited her seamstress to get her measurements taken. It's 1 month to the wedding. Today, she has come for her final gown fitting, a definite essential in her planning checklist. Accompanying her is her sister-in-law-to-be.
I expect they've done a good job, yes, and it's not so far off from the original. I know it really can't be replicated, but I hope it's not so far off.
Noreen is hoping against all hope that it will fit.
With no 1 step, 2 step, 3 step.
Finally, she steps out in her custom-made halter gown.
It's decent, and it's simple. I do want a train, first of all, and I didn't want something so long. My shoes will show. even because I'm planning to have flat shoes during the reception, they'll still show. And I'm wearing wedges during the service. And then it's a Luya Kikuyu wedding, so there's a lot of dancing. That's why I didn't want something bulky, and I didn't want something that has a long train.
Had she tried shopping around?
No, I didn't try any other gown. By the way, I had already decided that Taylor, because I know her from way back, and I've seen their work, and I know they do a good job. So I thought, why not just make one instead of walking around shops trying different gowns? Why not just make something I want?
Okay, it's actually the way I wanted. She just wanted a plain dress, but I convinced her, no, it's a wedding, it's supposed to be a gown, and I like it.
I love the halter, and having seen the original design and being a very picky person, I really think they have done a great job.
Meanwhile, bride Catherine is also on a race against time to complete her bridesmaids' dresses. With her wedding just days away, we catch up with her at her shop to see how she's doing.
Nimejishonea nguo zangu za harusi za maids wote, then ya nini zote za watoto mimi nimejishonea. Maids ni 8 then watoto ni 5 wasita.
For her maids, she has made long ocean blue dresses with off-white coats as her choice of color scheme. And no, they will not be pleated as is common with most Akorino women's dresses.
Si ati ni lazima uvae pleats. Unalingana na nguo yenye unafaa. Utafaa yenyewe uvae nguo haina aibu kwa mbele ya watu.
The groomsmen will be decked in navy blue suits with matching ocean blue shirts. However, for her gown, she decided not to have it locally done.
Gown nilikoboa ikiwa imported. Yeah.
Deeply religious and conservative, she will wear her gown with a bolero to maintain her decency.
Gown venye tu wale wengine wanafaanga. Yangu tuseme yangu ni open. but nimeshonewa kale kabolero kadogo ya kuficha tu huku. Itakuwa tu na then hiyo net.
In keeping with the white tradition, she will be veiled, but with a twist.
Wekwa tu hapa. Ataingiza hapa.
And as Catherine sews her day away doing what she does best, she confesses a little something to us.
Natarajia hiyo harusi yangu ikuwe poa, ikuwe smarter. Okay, kila mtu akikam kwa harusi yangu, kila mtu mwenye nimekaribisha kwa harusi yangu, akam aone venye Akorino wanafanyanga, especially wenye hawana vitambaa, wote na wahitaji sana mpaka Akorino wote wahitaji sana ndio wakamu waone harusi yangu.
And smoothly it should go, as Peter has met all requirements as per Akorino weddings. Her handover ceremony is well planned out in advance. It will be held on Friday just before her wedding at her parents' home back in Murang'a, where she will be presented to Peter. She will then travel to Nairobi on the same Friday to stay at her friend's place till Sunday, the day of her wedding. Coming up next, the groom's party demands to be let in. And then, a competition of who's loudest as two cultures come head to head. And later, a flash mob at the wedding. When Samantha's bridal show continues.
There's a beautiful world I'm waiting to share.
It's Sunday, the morning of Catherine and Peter's wedding. So far, it has been a seamless journey, save for the incident with the photographer who was hired to film and document their dowry paying ceremony.
Tulikuwa tumemlipa akuje achukue video wakati wa dowry payment. Unfortunately, saa 7 ya mchana ndio ananipigia simu, ananiuliza tutapata battery wapi na yangu imeisha. Nikamuuliza, "Sasa mimi nitashughulika na mambo ya kulipa mahali ama nitashughulika na mambo ya battery?" Sasa nilikuwa namuuliza, "Tangu jana asubuhi usiku ndio sasa umejua battery imeisha?" So, unajua nilikuwa nimemlipa deposit. Nikamwambia sasa ile utafanya utanirudishia hizo pesa. Unfortunately, mpaka wa leo sijawahi zipata.
To avoid the same mishap on their wedding day, they have hired their own photographer. Otherwise, it is all mellow and blissful as Catherine and her bridesmaids prepare for the day ahead.
We've come a long way, dear. We've come a long way.
Natetemeka tu kidogo juu na nini nafuka side ingine sijaifika, lakini God is good.
Catherine chooses to go plain without any makeup today. Since she was handed over on Friday to Peter's family back at her parents' home in Murang'a, this morning the best man is expected to only arrive to take her to church. This is unlike most brides who are handed over in the morning of their wedding to the best man.
See all that we have done in my dreams, in my dreams.
Soon, the best man and his party arrive. After the cordial greetings, they are ready to be let in to take the bride. But unlike what they were expecting, there is still a barrier deterring the groom's party from entering, and a musical exchange ensues. Their efforts pay off, and finally they're let in. Finally, they arrive at Steamer Club, the venue for their ceremony and reception. And as the guests make their way into the venue, praise and dancing is already on inside the hall. Finally, the groom enters to the tune of The Promise by the Martins. The bride enters, and it's a surreal moment as she takes her seat. The time that Catherine and Peter had been waiting for is finally at hand, and they are joined in holy matrimony.
I promise to always obey you as my God-given husband.
And remain faithful to you all the days of our lives.
And a well-guarded secret they have kept from us all along is that today happens to be Peter's birthday.
Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Peter.
Thereafter, a charged praise and dance session ensues. And as sure as the sun shines in the sky, another couple crosses the threshold into matrimonial bliss. Mr. and Mrs. Shege head for their photo session. Meanwhile, the caterer is all set for their guest. Mr. and Mrs. Shege join their guests back at the reception hall, which is in the same venue where the church ceremony took place. The hall is set up for the reception with the high table set just for them and their best couple. Even their 5-tier cake and wine are all decked on the side of the room, ready for the day's festivities. Soon they are ready to receive their gifts from their family and friends, and they cannot resist to test their bed. A customary gift given in Agekoyo weddings, a sign that the bride's bed is no longer at her parents' home. The DTS dancers make good their promises to entertain at their wedding. Not to be left out, the bride and groom also decide to join their guests and enjoy every bit of the 6 minutes. Finally, it is time to share their first cake as a couple, and Mama Kamau is at hand to assist.
We've come a long way, dear. We've come.
And as they toast to love, we wish them bliss as they carry the joy as the journey and the road of life together.
And though we've been around and wondered what we'd found.
It is the morning of Noreen and Jimna's wedding, and Noreen's day starts off with a lot of energy. But soon outside, a battle of cultures ensues between Luya cultural dancers and women from Jimna's party who have come to take their bride as each tries to outsing the other. However, the Luya traditional dancers are oblivious of the fact. But they choose to focus on the day ahead as the bride is whisked away to church where the ceremony will take place. Meanwhile, the groom, oblivious of what is happening back at his bride's place, is in high spirits as he waits with eager anticipation for his bride to arrive.
I'm happy. First, I'm overjoyed because I'm marrying the love of my life. Two, I have no butterflies at all, contrary to what people believe. Probably it will hit me when I'm doing the vows, but I have no butterflies at all. And I hope that even as we go through the day, it will, even if there was anything that was planned that didn't go well, the whole idea of the two of us is to have fun.
Finally, the bride arrives at the church high in spirits. Nothing will dampen her spirit. And just like the groom, she's excited for the day ahead.
I'm feeling excited. I can't wait to just say the vows and the wedding is done, yes.
That one will dance like we've never danced before. That includes the crowd. They'll dance like they've never danced. I've been saying it from before that on my wedding I must dance because she doesn't dance much. She lets me be the sanguine that I am. So today she'll most definitely have to dance.
Please confirm with the congregation.
Yes.
She's the one, eh?
You're not the air that I breathe, you're the sweet scent that drifts upon it. You're not the sound that I hear, you're the music of my life. You're not the food that I need, you're the nourishment of my soul. You're not my will to survive, you're my reason for living. With the ring that I will give you, my heart, I promise from this day forward, you shall not walk alone. May my heart be your shelter and my arms your home.
I promise to be the shoulder that you come running to when you've had a hard day at work. I promise to make you the most important person in our family's life. In sickness and in health, to love and to cherish and to honor in the Lord, till we are separated by death, according to God's holy law. And this is my solemn vow. Amen.
With the help of God, I shall love him and honor him with all that I am
and all that I have, all the days of my life. In the name of the Father,
the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
I've never felt this amazing before. Something new that keeps me wanting more. Everything Something new that keeps me wanting more.
couple's photo shoot is being done at the elegant and artistic house of Makushla.
I had written my vows, then I didn't print them out. So I just decided, okay, let me just say them off, and whatever, if I don't get the exact lines, then that's what my heart feels at that time.
I had to go back to our first days when I was still trying to get her. So I relived those moments as I wrote those vows down. And I needed to incorporate that with the other vows that I usually have. So in turn, it became a poem. At some point, it was almost tear-inducing, but I stayed strong. You know me. You know.
And knowing how mainstream churches in Kenya are rigid, how did they manage to convince a whole bishop to let them say their own vows?
He wrote them down, then took them to him. He read, then he was like, this is good. And we decided to go with it. He actually said that he let us do our vows so that it's sincere from the heart.
And as most couples, certain things stood out for them.
Mine was Jimna getting teary-eyed.
But I didn't cry. Yeah. You best not air that.
And what's with the fancy-looking tie?
Tie.
Unleash that name. Unleash.
It's called the Eldridge knot, and I thought, since the occasion is once in a lifetime, I just dress normally the way I usually do, and just go with the flow.
Soon, the wedding party is back at the wedding reception to join the rest of their guests. Now that the bride is officially a member of Jimna's family, by law, the Kikuyu tradition dictates that they should sing to welcome bride Noreen into Jimna's family, but the Luya traditional dancers from Noreen's family could not stop, and the Kikuyu women are determined to hold their own ground, unlike in the morning. Finally, women from Jimna's family take over. Apparently, they were to welcome Noreen in the Kikuyu traditional songs, and then the DJ takes over with more urban music. But when the DJ started to play his tunes, the women had not had enough and could not stop singing. And if that's not enough, the women insisted that Jimna's mom had to come and receive Noreen, a ceremony that symbolized that Noreen is welcomed into the family. And when the MC for the day tries to interfere, he gets their wrath. And he flees for dear life. Finally, Jimna's mom saves the day, and the women from Jimna's family were more than happy and ready to dance to the tunes played by the DJ.
place your bet. Lay it all on the line, I'll be worth every dime. I tell you, put your money on me. Play it smart, feel the heat. When I grab the dice and let them go, I'll hit every single roll. I tell you, put your money on me. You'll be flying so high, you'll be touching the sky. From the view you'll think you were in heaven. I'm one of a kind when there's chips on the line, but you can't double down until you ante up. Got that sweet savoir-faire. I know how high rollers go from the streets to front row. As they do, they'll tell you.
Noreen possesses the qualities and the qualification of a perfect wife. She has acquired wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, such that should she be behind any man who is aspiring to greater heights of development in life, I can assure you that victory is beckoning.
And then a flash mob at the wedding. We wish Noreen and Jimna a lifetime of dancing and bliss. What are your sentiments regarding today's show? Share with us on our Facebook fan page, Samantha's Bridal, follow us on Twitter at Samantha's Bridal, or simply log on to our website, www.samanthasbridal.co.ke.